Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game between Tho versus Chaemiko human. My fave as human. Yeah, Tho we have both Emma plays equals tilt. Yeah, being able to consistently save your units is a very big advantage in Warcraft 3, as units and losing of units seems to matter a lot. You don't get these giant death balls as you do in StarCraft 2, where it's just which death ball has more damage per second, and I think that's one of the reasons why I still like Warcraft 3 over StarCraft 2. The battles, yes, became epic and larger in scale, but it wasn't. It didn't actually translate to skill on the field, as opposed to skill back in terms of economy and producing units nearly as much. StarCraft 2 is still a great game, but I think in its attempt to make it easier to control and too many unit select, mass multi-unit select, it ended up becoming too easy to just macro a very large or trying to use a very large army, and since it was easy to get every ounce of damage out of it, that's what everything really did. Biggest SC2 problem are the death balls, plus no matter if the unit is on high ground or not. Yeah, units losing that high ground versus low ground advantage, that was something that was in Brood War that a lot of players didn't know about. Units shooting from the low ground up onto the high ground actually had a chance to miss, and that was also true about trees, right? There was actually, like, if you're shooting or attacking a unit that was amongst trees or brush, you could actually miss that target as well. Anyways, we're looking at Beastmaster first. Alright, Beastmaster first coming in from Tho. And this is Tho, not Infi, so triple archers are already in play. This is at the 2-minute 30-second mark, and we are going to be seeing a rather large army make its way through. Alright, Beastmaster, I don't quite understand why it went after that creep camp if it didn't really want to go there at all, as there is one bear joining in on the fight already. Mud Golem taking a large bit of damage. Forest Troll High Priest getting in a lot of heals right there. And that Ancient of War did not want to get the final bit of damage off on that unit, as that bear, well, gets ensnared, loses aggro, and should be able to continue the fight again. Forest Troll Shadow Priest has joined in on the battle, but the human player, Chaemiko, is going to have an advantage on being able to ban or abolish magic those bears, as opposed to the water elementals, as Brilliant Aura going to make a difference. Sobi Mask on the Archmage, a beautiful item pickup as well, as that is exactly what you want on an intelligence-based hero that needs a lot of mana to try and summon up those water elementals. Manual of Health, a Tome of Strength, Beastmaster already up to 925 hit points at level 2. Coming back to the other side, a 500 hit point Archmage with Claws of Attack +5 and Sobi Mask ready to, well, bring to the battle a couple of Water Elementals Militia to try and clear out this creep camp quickly. Coming back down here to the south side, Beastmaster clearing up a couple of Troll Trappers, should not get to level 3, and, well, surprisingly, we still don't see a second skill coming in from Tho. Coming back off to the north, Archmage is sitting at level 3, Gloves of Haste, a little bit faster attack speed alongside that Archmage's damage. Archmage dealing 15% more damage, coupled with, well, attacking 15% faster as well. That's actually quite a big performance overall indeed, and, well, that's something to consider. Well, I guess Archmage being able to pick up Gloves of Haste and Claws of Attack, a very effective damage overall, as the units are now making their way back off to the north. Alright, Forest Troll Shadow Priest, Archers, we're looking at another Footman trying to retreat back again. Footman down to 71 hit points will be able to retreat back with no real issue. Coming back here, Water Elemental, no warding, getting purged down. Archmage, seeing that level 3 continues to drop these Water Elementals without any regard for how much mana his own unit, his own Archmage has, as I don't believe he's really concerned. He has a Potion of Replenishment, he has a Sobi Mask, so the Archmage should pretty much have mana for days, as long as, and especially after it gets to level 4. Is Tho playing random? Yes, he is. So Tho playing random in this matchup, going Beastmaster first, leading this army. There's a Raging Bear in that front line, alongside a whole bunch of, well, a Raging Bashing Bear in that front line, alongside a whole bunch of piercing damage in the back. I don't see any footmen with defend as of yet, as Chaemiko gets another bash onto a footman, taking that down. Alright, 32 supply compared to 38 right now. Both sides sitting on large amounts of gold. Archmage now trying to retreat back. Tech to tier 2 already done for Tho. Meanwhile, Chaemiko not anywhere close, as we should be looking at dual Ancients of Lore now getting added in. Tree of Life trying to get established as well, but unable to speed build, as that's still going to take some time to entangle that gold mine. Archmage gets up to level 4, level 2 Brilliance Aura. Now going to drop in those Water Elementals much more quickly. Beastmaster has to be careful, does not want to get easily surrounded. Double Abolish Magic, as I mentioned earlier, as the Archmage is providing additional mana to those 2 Forest Troll Shadow Priests. There's another Abolish Magic as well. And things are going actually fairly well for Chaemiko if Chaemiko doesn't lose this expansion. Alright, Arcane Tower just feeding back all of that damage here. Footman now needing to get some damage and, well, trying to get some, well, repairs onto that other Scout Tower. Not finding it, though, as another Scout Tower could try to get added in. Arcane Tower keeping that Beastmaster away, as that Beastmaster still sits at level 3. Alright. Production-wise, Hunter's Hall not yet done, and, well, without the Hunter's Hall, we should start seeing those Ancients of Lore getting added in. There should be, well, let's take a look. Finally, yes, dual Ancients of Lore added in. Though missing the opportunity to build those Ancients of Lore as soon as the Tree of Ages was done, because the Hunter's Hall was not yet completed. A little bit of a misstep from the new random player right there. Archmage coming back around, going to perhaps try to drop some more Water Elementals. Demon Hunter is going to be the secondary hero coming in this battle here. And what's important to keep track of is that delay in tech, and the delay in building. That minute and a half lost, is it going to have a negative effect? We still see 600 some odd gold ready for Tho. He could have perhaps been already training up bears and trying to get that beast mastery training going quite some time ago. Alright, Quill Beast now joining in on the fight, as we see the Quill Beast trying to back away there. Beastmaster now trying to run back as well. Demon Hunter sitting at level 1, could get in some mana burns on some targets. Are we going to see a mana burn onto the Forest Troll Shadow Priest? Well, no, not quite yet. Instead, just going after the Water Elementals. Water Elementals could easily get taken out here. No slow poison or anything of that nature, though, as that Water Elemental down to 90 hit points and could end up falling. Oh, Water Elemental getting denied by another Water Elemental. I don't know. If I throw water at a puddle, doesn't it just get bigger? Anyways, coming back around here, Bears gonna go ahead and continue to fight their way through Ogre Magi, Ogre Warriors. Continuing to battle it up. Demon Hunter getting up to level 2, picks up a Scroll of the Beast, quickly going to be sold, 200 gold worth more, as, well, we should be looking at Druids of the Claw. No, Mountain Giants already getting added into play. Yeah, Scroll of the Beast not going to be that useful, especially as Bears with Roar should be in the near future. Tome of Intelligence +2 being left behind, as the Demon Hunter, well, trying to retreat back here. No Scroll of Town Portal. This could be a little bit of an iffy play, as the units are now trying to repeat back. And now, what is this? Pit Lord as the second unit. Alright, there's a Howl of Terror right there. Major drop-off in damage across the board. Mana burn coming in as well, as the Beastmaster tries to join on in. Pit Lord second alongside a Beastmaster. Tavern Heroes galore and Chaemiko with the silly play here, but how much damage can it really shut down? Alright, it looks as though one bear going to get taken out. There is still a lot of piercing damage coming in from that back line. And, well, I guess that is true if your opponent's main advantage is their high damage, not their durability. Well, and you can take a percentage of their damage away. Well, that drops off their advantage quite considerably. All right, it does make sense versus archers. Yeah, archers do have large amounts of damage. Normally, we are not yet at tier 3 though, so we do not see that all of that additional damage as we see a quick Howl of Terror, the Pit Lord trying to hide in the very far back to stay alive. All right, damage still adding in. Demon Hunter could be in trouble, down to 77 hit points, being forced to get stabbed to preservation back home as a water elemental is holding the door. All right, holding the door right there. More water elemental or rifleman trying to join in on the fight. The rifleman is actually going to be on the wrong side of the wall here. Where is it going to go? Yeah, just unable to get inside freely as that rifleman tries to retreat all the way back. Meanwhile, that mountain giant dealing decent damage to that arcane vault, trying to open up the floodgates a little bit further, as we should be getting some repairs onto that arcane vault as well. All right, a little bit of fortified armor adding in a lot of protection right there. No Howl of Terror. Howl of Terror could be used pretty effectively as the repairs are just coming in massively. Water Elemental is trying to do a little bit of chasing as well. Level 4, level 3 compared to level 4, level 1, as the repairs are enough to keep all of this arcane vault and this narrow gap opening all sealed. So far, this has been a rather strange game. That Pit Lord with that Howl of Terror shutting things, shutting a lot of that damage off, and we don't even have the upgrade yet. We're just going into, Adept training and Druids of the Claw. Where is the Ancient of War? Ancient of War was down over here. Nope.
Finished.
No, where is the Ancient of War? Okay, the Ancient of War, was the Ancient of War lost? No, the Ancient of War is still uprooted and not actually training up units. So it is just Dryads and Mountain Giants right now, as the Mortar teams, trying to lob a little bit more attacks. We are going into Riflemen and then what will most likely need to be Mountain Knights to deal with the Mountain Giants. We are only looking at a single barracks though, as the Mortar team and Riflemen should be able to deal large bits of damage to that entire back line. The Dryads are the main damage dealers. Mountain Giants are big and beefy, but rather low on damage for such a large unit. They can take a large amount of damage though, as we're going to see, a little bit of bashing coming across. All right, Rifleman with all of that focus fire right there. Mountain Giant taking a lot of damage. Mortar teams trying to lob in more attacks, trying to deal damage to that backline again. Militia going to be joining in on the fight, and here we are going in again. All right, Howl of Terror removing much of the damage across the army. Level 5, level 3 going up against level 4, level 1 still, as we're looking at Chaemiko trying to fight back here. Mortar teams actually dealing quite a bit of friendly fire damage, as the Militia now trying to retreat back again. All right, Pit Lord, does it have enough for another Howl of Terror? It does not. Peasants have turned back into their weaker selves, as we're looking at more units trying to retreat back again. Archmage still just shy of level 5 here, as the mana burns are coming in pretty fast and furious, as the units are now trying to make their way back again. All right, the Spirit Bear, the Blinking Bear, able to get inside that back line, going after those Riflemen, trying to bash it down. A Holy Light does save that one Rifleman right there, as the Archmage finally gets to level 5. A Bashy Blinky Bear going into that back line and almost taking down a Rifleman. Paladin shows up in time for the Holy Light to save. All right. Yeah. In comes the damage too. All right, trying to engage back once more. Paladin, Archmage, or Archmage purposely backs away. The Pit Lord now getting up to level 2. Knights are on the battlefield, but remember, the Knights are not actually that strong yet. Do not have Sundering Blades, as we're looking at main pressure coming in onto the main expansion. All right. 79 supply compared to 69. Though coming in with the larger army, archers and forestral berserkers going after all of these units here. Spirit Bear getting feedbacked quite a bit, feedback from that arcane tower, as the army is now showing up in play to try and fight as well. All right, mortar teams are actually much closer to that front line than they really want to be, as inner fire is not going to be enough to save that one knight right there, as we see another Scroll of Town portal to try and just teleport the army. All right, more damage coming back across. 64 supply compared to 66. Are we going to see any more Staffs of Frustration or Sanctuaries being used? There is a Staff of Frustration or Preservation on that Beastmaster and the Demon Hunter, as units could end up getting teleported back home. All right, one knight, pretty much a mountain giant too far, being forced to retreat back right now. Are we going to see a Holy Light or something save that knight right there? Down to 200 hit points. It's going to end up getting taken. Nope, Holy Light to save temporarily, but it does not look scroll appealing, but still not enough as a Chimera comes into the battlefield to try and shut things down. Level 5, level 3, level 2 going up against a 5-4 right there. Paladin with Devotion Aura leading the army with a little bit of extra additional damage resistance. Alright, 64 supply compared to 79, though has a distinctive supply advantage. But the overall armies are about similar in size. Chaemiko actually has 8 supply less workers, and that is the majority of where the supply is lost from. So far though, if the Paladin can get up to level 3, that will greatly shift things for the human army of Chaemiko, as a level 2 Holy Light makes a very drastic difference in the overall power of the army. Now we are looking at Cleave on that Pit Lord for that level 3 ability instead of Howl of Terror. And what that will do is it will allow the Pit Lord, to be much more effective, even if all of its mana is burned away by that Demon Hunter. We are going into Chimeras right now. The Chimeras with that magic damage going up against so many riflemen, and what is strange here is the low number of knights. Chaemiko is really not investing heavily into knights, and Tho is actually heavily investing into much more Chimeras. There's two mountain giants, 2 Chimeras, and two bears. This would almost be Noah's Ark's army if it wasn't for the 4 dryads, as the units are still continuing to push their way through. Alright, bears, chimeras, mountain giants pushing their way through again. We're looking at more damage. Chaemiko trying to retreat back with that Pit Lord, getting in some more damage again. Are we going to see a Howl of Terror? I don't see why we are not getting that Howl of Terror down, as bear is blinking to the back line again, able to deal so much. Alright, continuing to try and fight and save. Flying machines have finished off all of the chimeras, and now the flying machines are pretty much, SOL with no targets to try and hit. Healing ward being dropped down there, as the flying machines perhaps need to get the upgrade to be able to fight back. That is the problem if you go for flying machines. If your opponent says, you know what, alright, fine, I don't need those chimeras any longer, you end up having, 7 supply of useless units, as we are now getting a scroll of regeneration to heal up all those riflemen. Infi is second best random in the world. Really? Are we? I don't know. We could say there are some StarCraft players that play random. Thank you for the follow, Robinson, as we're continuing this fight again. All right, Paladin trying to back up here. Pit Lord, Talisman of Evasion, Claws of Attack. Major damage indeed, trying to push his way through, and the Pit Lord could actually have a little bit of problems. I did not realize this. Chaemiko cannot heal his Pit Lord with Holy Light, as the Beastmaster now sitting at level 6, and Thunder Lizards are going to be a problem, as there's no way to stun that Beastmaster either. Alright, so that Pit Lord has been having a difficult time trying to stay alive because the Paladin cannot actually heal him. And now, with the Beastmaster sitting at level 6, what we're going to see is, one of those situations where you wished you had a way to stun a channeling hero. The Beastmaster with Thunder Lizards can actually deal a very large amount of damage to buildings as long as you position your Thunder Lizards cast in the right way. Alright, things are going to get very interesting here, especially as we have the Keeper of the Grove, and this is triple Orb of Venom strategy as well. Demon Hunter, Beastmaster, and the Keeper of the Grove all has Orb of Venom, so they're going to be able to rack up a lot of damage. It's not all ranged attacks, but it is still going to add up rather quickly, as you see, bears, and then all of this engagement as well. Alright, Blinky Bear all the way to that back line. Rifleman trying to retreat back. Healing Ward trying to heal up all of those units as well. And there is the Thunder Lizards. What's going on? Why cast it in this direction? I believe Tho actually didn't quite realize what he was doing. He cast it across over here. What he needed to do was cast it down here, and it would have been coming in from this side, actually dealing damage to the buildings. All right, this is on purpose. Oh, from behind here, I guess. I guess this could be on purpose, but it seemed like it was just in the wrong direction, but it still was able to take down the expansion right there. All right. Beastmaster with Thunder Lizards able to deal so much damage. Beastmaster now with Orb of Venom trying to go back and dive in after all of these units here. A lot of low hit point Druids of the Claw as the Riflemen, well, as the Knights trying to stand in that front line. It's 80 supply compared to 69. I think this is going to be the game, though. Shutting down his opponent's expansion, still having healing wards to keep his own units alive and well is going to be a very big deal. Orb of Venom, Demon Hunter about to finish off the, well, Pit Lord, but, well, there is the lead instead. So, coming out ahead with a Beastmaster first, in this matchup, followed up by the Demon Hunter, and finally a Keeper of the Grove just for good measure. Great and interesting games here. Overview, recap. I think one of the big benefits of being able to go for a Tavern Hero as a Night Elf is you can build your Ancient of War a little bit earlier. With that, you can build your Ancient of War a little bit earlier, and since you can only get your Tavern Hero at the 2-minute 15-second mark, well, you're able to actually train up 2 additional archers to help you creep early on. That Beastmaster was trained up at the 2-minute 15-second mark, started creeping at 2-minute 30. Yes, you do end up losing 30 seconds of creeping time, but in the same way, at the same time, you have a larger army behind it early on, and you're able to hopefully make up some of that creeping time, and I think that's exactly what Tho did. From there, he just went straight into tier 2. He did have a little bit of a mistake, and it's one of those things where he forgot to build his Hunter's Hall. He got to tier 2, and it looked like he was going to try and build Ancient of Lores, and realized, wait, I don't have my Hunter's Hall yet, forgetting the tech tree, building the Hunter's Hall, then building the Ancient of Lores, while already teching to tier 3. That did delay his tech quite a bit and those other units. He didn't want to reinforce his mistake by training up more units from that Ancient of War. He just started to bank a large amount of gold and hoped that his heroes would be able to handle it. He was able to not fall behind, and then when he finally pushed into tier 3, because he did not go for 3 heroes too early, got to level 6 on the Beastmaster, and with that, using Thunder Lizards, able to put in a lot of pressure. Thank you for the cheer. Able to put a lot of pressure on the expansion of Chaemiko. Once the expansion was gone, the writing was on the wall. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.